Hi everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching today. So I'm going to show you how I've made this multi-tiered pop-up box card. Now I first made this around 5 months ago, and that size is 6x6 when it's folded flat, and when you open it, it will be 4x6. Really nice one. I think I decorated it with parrots. And it was a card style that a lot of people asked if I would do some other sizes. So I've got this one here. So this is bigger. So when this is open, it's the full 6x6. So you've got lots more room here to create some scenes. And then when it folds flat, it's just slightly under 6x8. I've made a bouncy envelope here, and I'll show you how to make that towards the end. And I will be sharing a box tutorial for larger cards as well at a later date, because I've got ones for 8x8 square, 7x7 square, 5x7 and 6x6. All of those box envelopes are on my channel, and again I'll link them up here in case anybody was unaware, but I want to get a 6x8 one as well in that playlist. So let me show you how to make this card. So I've used the Paper Discovery box 25 for all the stamped images, but of course you can use anything. And if you would like to see me colouring and doing all of this from scratch, you can watch the Facebook Live, which is where I made that one I showed you just now. So we'll talk about all that in more detail. And I've got a piece of 11x11 paper for the envelope, but again, I will talk about that later on. So first of all, for the main kind of shell, you'll need a piece of 9.5x6. Along that 9.5 side, you're going to score at 1 3/4 and 7 3/4. And then you want all of the tiered sections to go down. Now you can vary the height of these. The width will be the same, and the score lines that I give you will be the same on all the pieces, but the heights you can really vary as long as they're no taller than the 6 inches, but they can be, the next one down could be 5 3/4 if you wanted. So once you see how it goes together, it's really easy to adapt this. So this first piece is 5x6.5, and you're going to score at 1/4 inch and 6 1/4. Now that scoring is the same for the rest of these pieces I give you. I'm just going to tell you the height measurements. So this piece is 4 by that 6.5. Then this piece is 3 by 6.5. Then 2.5 by 6.5. And then 2 by 6.5. The scoring is the same as what I gave you at the beginning. I've then also got this piece here, which is for the back. And I've already done the mat and layers. So the blue piece is 5 3/4 squared. And the white is 5.5 by 5.5 squared. And I've already stamped the sentiment there, which is in the kit, which is enjoy the magic of Christmas. Next, you want to fold and burnish all of the score lines on all of those pieces. Okay, then you want to go back to this piece here, and we need to just take a little bit off of each side. So with a ruler, you just want to mark up 2 inches on the outside here. So pencil mark there, again there, and then with your trimmer you're going to trim from the fold, the top here, down to your pencil mark. So just sit it in your trimmer and just cut the corners off there. Like so. So now you can see we've got that shape coming together. Just rub out any pencil marks you might have. Okay, before we start sticking that all down, I want to stamp my sentiment on the smallest piece. So this is the 2 by 6.5, and you'll see I've stamped the gnome for Christmas. Now I think I'm going to do pretty much the same on this one. So, because they're going to be going to different people, and I want to use the same lovely card here, so I'll take that out as well. But you get your stamp set here, and you get the die cut gnomes. So you get all the stamps of like the village, everything that I've shared on this card here, the big toadstool, the trees, everything there. I've also added the street lights since the live, but the presents and the wood logs and things like that, the proportions just looked a bit too big. The presents were almost the size of the house, so I didn't put them in, but they are there. But I did go ahead and die cut the gnomes, and I've coloured them in with the same coloured pencils that I've used there, so you'll see how they match really nicely. But instead of this large one, I'm going to have the 2 gnomes on this one. So in terms of the sentiment and the arrangement will be the same, but they are going to have the 2 little gnomes there. So the sentiment that I love is that gnome for Christmas. I just think the fonts are lovely together and the little stars either side. So I'm going to do that same one again. Okay, I've also stamped the little footprints there because I'm going to add the trees around the top. So now we can start putting it all together. So I add the pattern paper last, and I'll show you a little, just a good way of saving your cardstock just to cover the small areas rather than these whole sections. So take the largest one. I'm going to use the quick grab glue for this, and you're going to add your glue along all the way along that 1/4 inch tab, and then sit it down here, line it up with the bottom of the card, and then the end of this piece you want it to line up with the fold. So bring that up and butt it up to there, make sure it's lined up with the bottom, and then just fold that whole piece over and it will stick to this side. So now when I bring that up, I'm going to bring it right over to the other side, and you can see now we've got that first tier. So then we're going to take the next one. Again, add our glue all along that tab, and then this time you're going to butt it up to the side just above the other one and make sure the base is lined up. And again, just fold that right over, keeping everything straight along the bottom here, and then just bring it back the other way, and there you've got your second one equally spaced. Then we're going to go down to the next one, exactly the same process. Then the next one, you may not want to have this size, you might want to just go straight to the front one, because then it will all have that equal 1 inch increment from, you know, they drop down each 1 inch. I've added this extra one in here just to kind of fill the gap, but it also looked quite nice having some of them quite close together, so you didn't have such a big gap. So it's optional if you want to add this in or not. So again, just going to add my glue and then just sit that one in like so. And then the last one, just add your glue, and then this time you're going to join it up with the very end here, because we cut that, so we have that 2 inch high section here at the very front. So I'm just making sure that's all secure and that it's all nice and straight. So what you'll now find is these will all sit over each other, all leaving exposed that 1/4 inch tab. So what you can do now is add your glue on every single tab all at the same time, and then you can fold that right over and it will line up perfectly with that very front tab. And just hold that there for a minute so that's all secure. And now when you bring that up, you've got that tiered effect. Now this could be a football stadium, you could have family pictures of people there, it could be a bookshelf, a magazine rack, you could have flowers in here, you can do lots with these. But yeah, there you have it. It's a really easy card to put together. So with the pattern paper here, or whatever it is you're going to have stuck in, you may keep yours plain. It's 5 3/4 width that you want, and then I just cut strips that are about 1 3/8 wide, rather than covering that whole inside there, and then you just waste all this lovely card. And because you only get a couple of sheets in your kits, you know, I want to make sure I get the most from them. So this is a slight ombre kind of effect. So I'm going to start with the darkest at the top, cut that to 1 3/8. This is already the A5 size, so it's already 5 3/4 wide, but you'll see now that's going to sit in there, and I like a little white border. Then I'm going to go down again, 1 3/8. So the 1 3/8, you know, tucks under enough that you're not going to really see the end of it, and that way you get to use that whole sheet on one card, whereas, you know, you'd have to use a few if you were to cover the whole of it. So it's just a nice way to make your cardstock go a little further. Let's see that one there, and then just 2 more, and then that last one. So now I can stick those down. So I'm going to use the Calcott. This is the all-purpose construction glue. So this is going to start to add a nice bit of strength to the card, and I'm just going to slide it in, drop it down, and then you can move that around until you're happy with the position. I'm going to do that with the others. So next I'm going to just start placing everything. So if you kind of just play around with where you think you want it all to go, and then take a photo, and then you can take it all off, and then you can stick it all down. So there's, I did colour another one of those, but like I said, just to make them a little bit different, and then I might do my arrangement slightly different as well. I've got my Father Christmas flying over the village. So I think I'm going to go for that. It's pretty much the same as the other one actually, it's just a little bit different down here. I've been sticking everything with little foam dots, so it just lifts it all. You can see there, you just get that extra dimension. It just makes it easy for you to be able to pop the trees behind or in front. And I put foam on the very front here as well. So I'm just going to pop this on high speed and get that all stuck down. You would have seen me just stick everything down. I've also added some glossy accents over Father Christmas, so it's a little bit cloudy, but that will dry clear. But I've done it all over the windows, so they will look like, but they just shine, looks like the glass in the window. And you can see what it's like dry because I've already popped it on the nose and the bows. And then I've just put a little blob of Nouveau Drop on the ends of their hats there. I think it looks super cute. So I'm going to let that dry. You then just want to stick this piece on the back, but now I want to show you how to make the envelope and the bouncy envelope. So I've got paper here. This is, I buy the 12 by 12 paper from Dovecraft. I'll link it below. It's really good for envelopes. You get loads of different colours, and it's just, yeah, just a good one for when you want to make your own. So I've got my envelope punch board here. However, if you follow my video that's popping up here, that will tell you how to make your envelopes without the punch board. In that tutorial I'll show you how to work out the sizes and everything. It's really easy. Because this is a 6 by 8 card, just look for your card size. So 6 by 8, and you want a piece of 11 by 11. So I've already cut this to 11 by 11. My first score line is at 4 7/8. So I'm just going to take this one, sit it in here, and you're going to line it up with 4 7/8. So just there, punch and score. And I find I always get a better result if I then flip it to work on the opposite end or side, and then punch and score. And now I'm not going to use this anymore. I'm going to line up this little notch here so it runs straight or parallel with the score line here. Punch and then score, and you'll see it will join up like so. So now we've got it in that corner, and then you just do the same here. Just pull that along, line it up there. So you can see we've got that effect, and that's the final result. You can see we've got that here. So now just fold all those score lines. And then what I've done is I've popped some red tape on the sides here for the bottom. And then I'm not going to use that card there, but I've got this one here. This one's slightly shorter. The one that you'll have will have slightly thicker sides. So you won't have, you'll see I've got a bit of a gap here. You won't have that. Yours will fit in perfectly. But this one does fit as well. So if you made this size from the live, then this size envelope will be perfect. But what you want to do, not stick it to your desk, sit that in there, and this is what I call a bouncy envelope. You're now going to wrap it around the dimension of your card. It just ensures then you can fit it in the envelope, because if you just was to, you know, say I was sticking that in there, if I pop that down and then just stuck that, it would be a really thin envelope and it'd be difficult to get the dimensional cards in. But this is perfect, especially if you're just delivering by hand. But this would still go in the post in the UK anyway, but I would probably still put this in a padded envelope. And then I'm just working that all around there. And the reason I call it the bouncy envelope is because it now has that bounce to it. You'll see then that just goes in there perfectly. And then I've just put some more red tape here, and then you can close that. So there's the finished cards. This one's still drying, so I'm just going to leave that one now for a while. I've also got an idea for another size as well. This is a really popular style card, I think, because it works for so many occasions. And if you're members of the Mixed Up Crafters Facebook group, you can go into the search on that page, and if you type in multi-tier, you'll get all the posts of all the cards that people have shared. So there's so much inspiration over on there. And like I said, yeah, if you haven't joined, go on over. You just need to answer 2 questions, and then one of the admin team will approve you, and then you can share anything there that you've made following my tutorials. And it's such a lovely group. Check out the tutorials coming up now. I will link the original card that I made as well. That will come up now, and there'll be some other box kind of styles that you might want to watch next. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.